What is going on, guys? Evil Orso here, and today I am bringing you my Week 7 match for the PMC D-League. It's kind of sad to see that the PMC D-League is coming to an end, but we do have our last match this week against the Detroit Solgaleos. The Detroit Solgaleos used to be owned by Kai and the Alcoholic Gamer, and they used to be the Bermuda Tri-Tacs. We played them in Week 1. Thanks to Salamence, we managed to pick up a pretty good win. I think it was a 3-0. Could have been a 2-0, not sure. But it was our first win of the season, and it was our only win until Week 5. So it was a pretty important match to start the season. Now it is owned by Roshan, and a lot of changes have been made to the team. For example, picking up Entei was one of the biggest things. Entei used to be a member of our team, if you don't recall, but we dropped Entei and picked up Melodic, which was definitely one of our better transactions this season. So now let's quickly go over his team. His team consists of Mega Diancie, Rotom Wash, Staraptor, Umbreon, Nidoqueen, Druddigon, Excadrill, Mismagius, Galvantula, Regice, and Entei. For what I predict him to bring, Mega Diancie's coming for sure. Yes, I do have Registeel to easily check it, but it does get moves like Earth Power, which, unless I run my Registeel spread like I am, it can completely obliterate him. I expect the Rotom Wash. It just does get great coverage against my team. I don't really have a solid Pokemon to check it. I could bring Chestnuts, but I've decided not to bring Chestnuts simply because that Will-O-Wisp completely, and I mean completely, puts Chestnut at a useless position, meaning I would rather just bring other mons with HP Grass and such to deal with it. I also think he's going to bring the Umbreon simply because it's one of his best walls, and I don't really have a reliable mon to check it very well. I mean, yes, I could bring Lucy, but I feel like he'll bring a way to shut that down, especially if you bring Nidoqueen, another thing I expect him to bring to check Clefable, obviously. So I don't think that'll be too big of a deal. For the last few mons, he could potentially bring Excadrill. If Victini does beat it, though, because Victini does outspeed it, he could bring that. I think he's going to bring Staraptor, though. It's a hard-hitting mon that does have a speed tie with Victini, and also has a speed tie with Salamence, meaning it could definitely put in a lot of work against my team. For other mons, I don't expect him to bring Druddigon. It has no real value against my team. Mismagius, probably not. He could bring Galvantula. It could work in his favor to get Sticky Webs up, and if he does bring Staraptor and Galvantula, Staraptor will essentially outspeed everything on my team except for Salamence. I don't expect him to bring Regice. I just don't feel like there's anything on my team with a 4 Ice weakness. Yes, I do have Salamence, but Salamence gets access to moves like Stone Edge, Rock Slide, and Brick Break, and I kind of easily beat it. So I'm not really too worried about Regice. And Entei, it could come, but I mean, it doesn't really get a lot of good kills against my team. It could be useful, but Melodic 100% checks it. So, who knows? But let's first get on to the first mon I am bringing, Aries the Victini. This week, I'm going to be running V-Create, Energy Ball, Brick Break, and U-Turn. I'm going to be running the V-Create as a basic stab. I'm actually running Choice Scarf Victini because I was originally going to run Trick instead of U-Turn, but I just felt like there's nothing on this team that I would want to shut down besides the Rotom Wash, and I mean, like, Scarf Rotom Wash isn't even something. I mean, I could shut it down, Umbreon potentially too, but those are two things I don't want to stay in for on a turn to trick a Scarf onto. So I feel like U-Turn will give me a lot more momentum on the team. V-Green hits a lot of things on his team really well, including the Excadrill, and the Regice, and the Galvantula. So I'm pretty sure he's going to bring either Excadrill or Galvantula, so V-Create will destroy at least one thing. For the other thing, Brick Break hits the Umbreon. I'm going to predict him to bring especially defensive Umbreon, because I do usually run Blue Fairy Victini, and he might want to run that to take a Moonblast better from Clefable. Energy Ball is there for the Rotom Wash, obviously. Next, we have Lucy the Clefable. On Clefable, I'm bringing Flamethrower, Moonblast, Wish, and Toxic. Now, initially, I wasn't running Flamethrower, but I added it just because I feel like Excadrill could be a potential check, because he doesn't really have a... I mean, if he does bring Nidoqueen, that's great, but I feel like Excadrill has a better chance of coming, and I feel like it would be a better check So yeah, that's why I'm bringing Flamethrower to deal with the Excadrill. Moonblast is there to deal with the Umbreon and other things that are weak to Fairy. Toxic is there simply because there's a lot of things on his team that I would like to wear down. For example, Rotom Wash, Umbreon, if he brings Druddigon, Regice if he brings it, Entei, all of those mons are things I would love to get a Toxic off on and be able to potentially wish stall them out if I have to, which may work, it may not, we'll see. But yes, also with the Magic Guard ability, if Mega Diancie does come in and try to Magic Bounce the Toxic, it once again won't really do anything because of the Magic Guard. Finally time to not bring Choice Scarf Ments. This week I have decided to bring Dragon Dance, Life Orb, Ments with Intimidate over Moxie in case I go up against one of his physical threats. There is so many things on his team that I could set up on. Let me just go through the list really quickly. Rotom Wash, Umbreon, Nidoqueen, Druddigon, Miss Magius, not Regis, and Entei. I could set up on all of those things, assuming they don't have the right moves to hurt me. A lot of them don't even get moves. I could see Excadrill potentially setting up on that, but it's obviously going to run Stone Edge if it does come. Now, the moves I run, Earthquake is great coverage generally on his team. This thing does get completely wrecked by anything from Mega Diancie, so I have to keep that in mind while I'm playing with it. It does hit the Mega Diancie hard with an Earthquake, as well as being able to hit things like the Nidoqueen, the Excadrill, and and the Entei, which could do some major damage. The Stone Edge is there for hitting the Staraptor, and the Galvantula, and potentially the Regice, which I probably won't stay in on, but still, if I catch it on a switch. Next, we do have the Dragon Claws, our basic stab. It doesn't really get anything. Unfortunately, it does get Mega Diancie could come in and nothing happens, but the Dragon Dance is going to be there, and I'm really excited to bring Dragon Dance Ments. I have never really used a Dragon Dance Mon before. When I play with Mons like Dragonite and other Mons that get Dragon Dance, I usually don't use it like the Mons. I've never really used a Dragon Dance Dragon per se. I do use Crawdons a lot in OU, so I guess maybe that could be my experience, but it's a lot different than Salamence, so hopefully this is going to go down well. Up we have Megabus the Melodic running HP Grass, Ice Beam, Scald, and Recover. Because of the Diancie, I don't really have to run Toxic on this thing. Besides, I have two other Mons this week running Toxic, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be safe to run HP Grass. Scald is going to be there to hit things like the Mega Diancie, the Excadrill, Nidoqueen, and Entei. The Ice Beam will be there to hit things like Staraptor, Nidoqueen again, Druddigon, and other things on his team, not really, but just get some neutral hits. And HP Grass is there for the Rotom Wash. Now this thing is actually mixed defenses, actually Clefable, this, and the next two Mons I'm bringing, well actually no, then the last Mon I'm bringing, who I'll reveal at the end, are actually all mixed defenses, so I can deal with everything on his team a bit better than usual. I didn't want to make sure in case, because mixed Diancie, I wanted to make sure that in case, mixed Diancie is the set, it's the set. It's Diamond Storm, Earth Power, Moonblast, and then usually something else. Potentially Rock Polish. But that's usually the set I see whenever I play against it or when I use it, that's the set. And it's Mixed Diancie, meaning it's going to be able to hit things on my team incredibly hard from both sides of the spectrum. Meaning I need to make sure every single wall on my team is going to be able to take hits from it and be able to dish them back without having to get O-code. Yeah. Now this is a gimmick set I'm a little bit worried about not working. I'm running Donphan with Earthquake, Seed Bomb, Ice Shard, and Knockoff. This is Choice Banded Donphan. Unfortunately, a lot of my gimmicks haven't worked. When I'm going for gimmicky sets, I'll just go through a few of them. Choice Scarf Clefable worked. Worked one of the two times I brought it, so that's, I guess, one of two. Calm Mind Mega Absol didn't work, 1 for 3. And this, we'll see if it works. I'm pretty sure it might not, but because of the other Mon I'm bringing, I didn't have to bring Defensive Donphan, and I could just use it as a good Mon considering the weaknesses he has on his team. Seed Bomb's there for the Rotom Wash, Ice Shard is there for priority, Earthquake is there to hit all those ground weaknesses, and Knockoff is there to get rid of items on pesky things like the Rotom Wash. I feel like this thing could definitely be great. Unfortunately, his electric type is Rotom Wash, which does have the levitate ability, meaning that if he does go for a Volt Switch on me and I switch back in, I can't hit it with an Earthquake, and I'm not really going to want to be taking Hydro Pumps from this thing. So Donphan's not really going to be the response. It's most likely going to be Clefable coming in to take those hits, or potentially our next Mon, who I feel is quite a constant to take on the two bulky walls of his team. In the final set, the one I am most excited about is bringing back Registeel. Now, Registeel was a Mon I had in the stupid UBC Season 1, and I used it against both of my matches against RG the Awesome, one in our playoff match, which it didn't go so well, but then one in the week before match was a pretty fun match the week before. So yeah, I brought it back, and I'm bringing a similar set to one I brought in the first match against RG the Awesome. Now, this thing is going to be running Iron Head, Power Up Punch, Toxic, and of course, Stealth Rocks. Now, originally, I didn't run Stealth Rocks on it when I brought it. I had Explosion as the fourth move, but he has Mismagius, and I don't want to have to take the risk of exploding and nothing happening. So, you know, whatever. But I did end up bringing this set. I felt like it was a great set. Now, I know Iron Head is resisted by Rotom Wash, but I really don't want to bring another move to use against it. I feel like it's a wasted move potential. So instead, I feel like power punching a bunch of times against it and using Iron Head is definitely more of an effective strategy. I know that sounds pretty lame, but Iron Head does hit the Mega Diancie super effectively, and if the Umbreon wants to come in on me, Power Up Punch will Power Up Punch him away. Now, there's definitely that risk of Rotom Wash wanting to burn me, which definitely could be a huge concern, but with one or two Power Up Punches, that burn is pretty much negated, and I could just go back to using it as a mod who's slightly getting taken down every turn. Now, the problem with Registeel is it is one of the best defensive mons in the game, with one exception. It has no reliable recovery, which just sucks. If Registeel got Recover, it would probably be an Ubers, just saying. Because the problem with Registeel is it's got a good mon, it's got a great move pool, and it does what you need it to do, except it can't, like, you chip down one of his defensive walls, great, it's at half health, it's staying at half health, unless you bring Wish Support, which unfortunately I brought this week, because I need to keep this thing healthy to deal with Mega Diancie in case I use this thing to chip down Rotom Wash or Umbreon. This thing is playing such an important role this week, and I really wish it got Recover. Fix that, Nintendo/Game Freak. You better be fixing that next gen. I want a recovery move for this Golem. None of the other ones, just Registeel. I don't care about the other ones, they're stupid. But yes, anyways, that is my team for this week. I hope you guys enjoy. Now, I do have, instead of doing something, I was going to do something at the end of this video. I didn't expect to make the playoffs. I had something planned. I'll tell you, I guess I'll just tell you, it's going to be an award thing for our team, and as well, I just want to appreciate a lot of the people who have helped me up this season, such as D-Pad Gamer, V, and J-Specs, who have got my mons for me, recorded my battles, because I don't really have a capture card, but they've been recorded, recording my battles, getting my mons. I just really want to thank them, and I'm going to do that in the video, and so you guys just don't get bored with a lot of me just appreciating people. I'm also going to be doing awards for my team, such as Most Valuable Pokemon, Most Improved from the beginning of the season, as well as the overall Best Pokemon. I may throw in some other things in there too, but I feel like, yes, it's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm going to do that after the playoffs. I may, I don't know who I'm playing. Kyle has forfeited the Misket Mespritz, so that means I'm either going to be playing Aki, assuming if I lose, I'm playing Aki. If I win and Adam wins against CJ, I play Aki. If CJ beats Adam and I win, I play CJ. So there's about, I don't know, there's pretty sure I'm going to be playing Aki. The odds are against me. I do think CJ is going to beat Adam, but I don't know if I'm going to win this match. My team is so heavily, just doesn't get a good matchup against this team. I said it at the beginning of the season. This team is just insane. You could hear it in anyone's team builder who plays against them, especially CJ. You can just hear how much people are afraid of this team. And unfortunately, they have gotten a lot of bad luck this season with hacks and such, them being one of the worst records, but they do definitely deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm sorry that they aren't in the playoffs this year, but they are one of the strongest teams in the league. And this is definitely going to be a hard match. So here we go. Here's the battle.
Huh?